Okay, so usually I do Facebook lives, and that's how I make these videos, but I'm not going to do that this time. It's kind of cold out here. My car is actually warm though. So I kind of make this rant video short. I don't want to make it too long because it's not something that bothers me too much, but I've noticed it. It's a recurring theme in my life, plays out between some of my friendships and things like that. So kind of want to bring attention to it because who knows, somebody else might see eye to eye with me on this. So there's a lot of feedback that I've been hearing from other people, and also seeing others go through, and they always discuss, communication wise, and communication is the biggest thing for me. I don't care if it's a friendship I have with someone or if it's a potential relationship that I could have with a person. Communication is such a big thing for me. Now, one of the biggest things that pisses me off, especially when it comes to the situations, relationships, whatever that I have had with men, the ones I've dealt with, there seems to be this thing where if a female is communicating something that's bothering her, if, there's something that's been upsetting her, there's something that's been going on, a lot of my female friends have suggested, well, why do you feel the need to call them out on their shit? First of all, the way that you want a man to treat you is how you should be expecting them to treat you right off the bat. Now, I've heard time and time again these little remarks that some of them will make. They'll make like, well, how do you expect me to know how to treat you if you don't tell me? First of all, you were raised a certain way. Usually you could tell a man knows how to respect a woman by the way he was raised. And if he doesn't know how to treat a woman, then he wasn't raised right. The fact that, you hear a guy make a comment like, well, I don't know how to treat you unless you tell me how to. No, you should have enough common decency as a man yourself to know how to treat a woman, okay? You treat people the way you want to be treated. That's the very most common sense concept that somebody could have. And if you have this sarcastic ass remark, oh, well, I don't know how to treat you unless you tell me how to treat you. No, you treat me the way that you would expect I treat you. If you want to be treated like a king, you'll treat me like a queen. If you don't treat me like one, then you're not going to get treated like a king. You don't get that. I don't understand that mentality where they think that they're entitled to a certain treatment from a woman, but then they treat her like shit. And that's the thing. When I know I'm being lied to, sometimes I've played dumb and I've just let them think that I'm believing every word they're saying. But then the other times I have called a guy out and said, look, I know you're lying to me and there's no need to beat around the bush about it. You could just simply be honest about it. And if you don't know how to be honest, then this conversation can stop right here. Because I don't have time for someone who wants to act like, oh, well, you're supposed to treat me like this. And no. You don't get that loyalty or royalty treatment from me, and yet I'm being treated like I'm just disposable. And no, I'm just not dealing with it. I'm the type of woman where if something is bothering me, if I am feeling like, okay, well, if I don't bring this up now, women have this tendency to they'll hold in things and they'll fester about it, and they'll wait, and then you've got women that will say, well, I want to pick the right time. I said, honey, there is such a thing as toxic positivity, and there's never going to be a right time to address something that's bothering you. If your man has a problem hearing you out and letting you express your very vulnerable, issues that you've got, I'll tell you what bothers some of these boys, okay, is because they think that they're this God's gift to earth, okay? They've got this very egotistical mindset of, oh, well, I could never do no wrong. So when you bring up concerns and and he might feel like you're attacking him. He might feel like you're what's that word? Accusing him of being anything other than what he thinks he is. So they can be very self-involved and selfish. They think that, oh, they can do no wrong, that they're perfect, that no, you're not. Nobody is, okay? So the breeding ground for that is, look, if you cannot handle communication, if you cannot handle anything that, if a woman is expressing something that's upsetting her, and you have the audacity to turn around and tell her, man, I just need to go smoke a blunt because you're bothering me, or I can't handle you addressing your concerns. That lets me know right there that the man does not know how to really accept anything outside of what he can handle emotionally. And my mom, she made a joke last night. She said, well, it's not really a joke. There's some truth to it. She said, men and women are switching the roles these days. The women have the balls and the men don't. It's because for some reason, women are getting more assertive and we're getting more communicative. And it's like, look, when I express a concern, to someone and let them know, it doesn't matter if it's female or male or trans, whatever you identify as, it does not matter. Like, if I'm having an issue with you and my concern is how you're treating me or how you're treating other people, and I feel like, okay, I'm going to bring this up now. There is never going to be a right time to address something to somebody. You do that shit when it happens, okay? And some people are like, well, that's how you start drama. No, it's not. If you think that expressing your emotions and expressing something you feel is going to create drama, then you're talking to a person that's not going to be able to handle communication, period, okay? Not every time someone communicates something that's bothering them is it a problem. And if you think that somebody expressing their concerns, or like, why is it that we have to be made to feel like if we speak up or if we say anything about how we feel, it's going to be a inconvenience for you? You're not talking with someone who's mature, obviously, if they think that every time that you bring up a concern, you're trying to start an argument. No, I'm bringing up very valid things, feelings that are valid. And if you can't respect that, well, then I don't have to bother talking to you anymore. And I cut people off once I realize that that's how they treat emotions, how they treat communication. If they feel slighted by you bringing up something about them that isn't fitting what they have and this grandiose image of themselves in their head, and you're kind of threatening that image they have of themselves, they're the problem, you're not. And I think for me, I get unsettled with it because it's like time and time again, I will communicate with people. I am a very openly communicable, honest person. To a fault, because not everybody deserves my open, honest communication policy, okay? I'm honest with everybody, but different levels of honesty with everybody. And there's just certain people that, you know, I refuse to deal with anymore, because especially when it comes to males, most of the ones I have dealt with, oh my Lord. I'll use an example. I was on the phone one time with a guy this was 3-4 months ago, and I blocked him. As soon as I blocked him, and not even 2 months later, he's making another account trying to talk to me again. And I was like, really, dude? Really? There's a reason why I blocked you, and that means that I'm not going to deal with your poor communication skills anymore. I mean, this can go for anybody. You know, you could have someone like this in your life. Well, I was on the phone with him, and I was expressing something that was very... He was one of them type of guys where he would demand that I talk to him when he wanted me to talk to him. But then when I gave him that time that he demanded, then he would neg the fuck out of me. And he would be like, well, don't you got anything else to do? I said, well, you know what? I actually do. But if I don't give you your time that you want, then you're bitching. So, you know what? You're more feminine than I am, because I could care less if I talk to you or not. You just want my attention because you want attention. You don't want to talk to me to be talking to me. And I told him that. I said, he goes, well, I got 3 other women I could be talking to. I said, well, then go talk to them, because I've got shit I got to be doing. I'm not interested in these games that you're playing. Like, oh, well, and then he wanted to be like, well, you ain't even that attractive anyways. What do my looks got to do with shit? What do they got to do with anything? I don't care. I said, you know, you're sitting here trying to make me feel like shit because your ego is rejected and whatever else you're feeling. And instead of being honest about how you're feeling, men have got this concept where they think that if they get vulnerable, or if they show that side to you, that it makes them look weak. I actually have way more respect for a man who is very open and honest about where he's at emotionally. Like, and it doesn't mean you gotta be, but I've seen men cry, okay? And I don't judge a man for crying, but it depends on what he's crying for, okay? Because some of the shit that I've seen some of them cry for, I'm like, dude, why are you crying over that? Like, I mean, it's normal to have emotions. It's normal to have feelings, even as a dude. It is, oh my gosh, it is so very normal. So, I shouldn't have to tell you how to be. And I'm not going to sit here and tell somebody how to be. I shouldn't have to tell a dude how to treat me. I shouldn't have to tell him how to respect me. If you don't already know how to do that naturally, you've got some issues. You've got some things that you need to work on, because honesty breeds honesty in my case. If you're not going to be honest with me, then I'm not going to be honest with you. That's how it rolls with me. If a guy doesn't know how to be upfront and throw all his cards on the table about who he is as a person, what he's done, and that, okay, you know what, this is who I am now. I did all that shit, but now this is me. If he doesn't know how to do that, why does he think I should be giving it? I don't get people's mindsets. And that's, like I said, communication. And especially when, you're trying to get to know somebody. And my approach to people is I'm very cutthroat. Okay. I get straight to the point with everything, because I don't got time to be dilly-dallying around with everybody. I don't. Okay. I'm like, look, if you want to be my friend, here's how I work. Here's how I roll. And if you don't know how to do open, honest communication, and you don't know how to be respectful, then I'm not going to respect you. And I'm not going to treat you how you think you should be treated when you're going to treat me like shit. And that is just really where I stand on things. And, I think for me, it's such a personal thing, because whenever I address something to someone, I can sit here and soften it up and put a pretty bow on it. And even when I make it sound as approachable and receivable as I can, it's still a problem. So my thing is, look, people always want to accuse those who are very honest as being blunt and abrasive and rude. There's a difference between being honest and being rude. Rude is someone who's just saying shit to get under your skin, and they know that what they say provokes you. That's rude. Okay. Honesty is when someone's calling you out on your shit and they're bringing up things that you've done, and you don't want to accept it because it threatens this image that you have of yourself of, oh, well, everybody no. And I'm tired of sugarcoating things with certain individuals, and I'm tired of, just having to step on eggshells because, oh, well, this might start drama. Like I said, if you expressing how you feel or anything of that nature, if you're at risk of starting drama with somebody, they're not somebody you need to be having in your life anyways, because they've got shit they need to work on. And, some people are like, well, you can easily just dispose of people like that. I said, if they are emotionally immature, yes. Because then everything that I say to them, everything that I bring up is going to be a problem. They won't be able to handle it because it's going to upset their emotional imbalance that they've got going on inside of them. And I don't have time to be dealing with that. I'm not a babysitter, okay? And, when I was younger, I wasn't as expressive. I had, these, I want to tell this person this. I want to let them know that they're making me feel this way. But, I had my mother telling me things like, oh, well, you don't need to be expressing that anger, or you don't need, it's not even anger. It's, I have a problem with what they're doing. I have a problem with how they talk to me or talk to others. I have a problem with how they treat me. Like I keep saying, and there's even memes about it. If when you express how you feel or how someone else is making you feel, and they take it as an attack, they're not at a place where they can actually accept what you say as constructive criticism and be like, you know what? I could see what you're saying, and I could understand why maybe I came across that way. Instead of being like, oh, well, no, believe what you want. And instead of accepting that they perpetrated and actually caused some of that behavior to happen, instead of being an adult about shit and being and being able to put themselves in the other person's shoes and see where that person's coming from, they want to take me as I'm trying to start an argument all the time. And I'm like, I'm not trying to argue, but if you want to argue, bitch, I will argue with you. I don't got time to be beating around the bush with people. I don't. And it's something that pisses me off, because I'm like, look, we're both adults here. How about you start acting like one and stop taking everything that I call you out on as an attack? Sometimes, I know when not to say anything. If it's something that they do all the time and that's just part of their personality, I don't care. Because I'm like, look, that's just how they are. But if it's something that, you know, they're doing that I feel like maybe they don't know that they're doing it, and maybe they don't know it affects me the way that it does, I'll bring it up. But there's people that I have done that with, and they want to act like I am trying to start an argument. And I'm like, why do I even say anything to you? Because every time I do, you take it as an attack, you know? And I mean, there's certain people that sometimes when they call me out on stuff, I'm like, okay, do you realize how you're addressing this? And I'll let them know, like, look, I hear you, but maybe not address it that way. But then it's like, oh, let me just let people know. Sometimes, oh, there goes, my cat is on the car. Sometimes you can't, being nice doesn't get things done. Hi. What? The cat's on top of the car. Hey, buddy. Anyways, you know, being nice doesn't get things done. And there's been times where I have sugarcoated and I have tried to sweeten it up a little bit and make it more receivable to the person, and they still don't like it. And that's what I'm saying. I refuse to sit here and try to sugarcoat something so that it makes it easier to swallow for somebody. What's that TV show? 80 proof or something like that, where it says you don't water me down so that you can handle me at 100 proof or whatever. I find, because, well, I'm an Aries sun, moon, Leo rising with Mars conjunct. I'm Sagittarius dominant. I'm all fire, baby. Okay, so people like to throw water on that, and they try to water it down so that they can stomach it. And it's like, no, I'm not something that you can drink with a chaser. You either drink me straight or not at all. And when people try to water me down, they don't actually get the full effect of me. They don't, because it's like they don't know how to handle it. And it's like, look, I'm not trying to be handled. I'm trying to be understood and heard, okay? And then, you know, when somebody tries to handle you, they're trying to control you. They're trying to emotionally manipulate you. They're trying to do all this thing and reconstruct you and build you the way they want so that they can stomach you. And it's like, look, you can't do that with me. I don't respond well to people who do that with me. I don't. I feel caged in. I feel boxed. And I'm like, I give a freedom to everyone so that they know that they can be open and be who they are with me. I'm very friendly. If you come up to me and you strike up a conversation, depending on the energy that you're giving off, if I'm receptive to it and I respond well to it, I'm gonna vibe with you. But if there's some kind of energy they're giving off that's negative, I'm gonna be like, you know, you're gonna get the resting bitch face is what they're calling it these days. You're gonna get the stank face from me, and I'm gonna be like, get the fuck away from me. I don't want to deal with you right now. I don't like your energy. Bye. And, you know, it's just communication. I don't know what else to say. You know, I'm tired of dealing with people who are emotionally inept. Okay. I'm tired of dealing with people who, when I'm trying to communicate, now sometimes people will be communicating with me and I'll just be like, okay, you just keep talking. And I got no interest in what they're bitching about. I don't, because I'm like, look, half the shit that I've already heard you bitch about, you've bitched about a lot. You've bitched about a lot. So, and that's not the kind of communication I'm talking about. There are certain women that will bitch about the same things over and over and over and over. My thing is, if a person truly hears them, they'll change their behavior. They'll correct their behavior. But do realize that someone's not going to correct their behavior all because you addressed a concern. They've got to address it because they want to keep you. And if a person, man, woman, if they want to keep you in their life, they're going to make the necessary adjustments to their personality or to their behavior. Now, I'm not talking about their personality in terms of their foundation of who they are at their core. I'm saying if there's something that's in their personality that has not always been there, Well, hello. Thanks for blocking the sunlight and making my hair look really good. Okay, well, that was... Hi, buddy. Hi. I mean, look at this dude. Look. You're crawling around my car. Oh. Okay. I'm getting distracted here because, like, oh, meow. Oh my gosh, I love cats. He's so cute. Oh my gosh. Okay. I need to get back on. I need to get back on topic. You know, if there's something that so you're trying to address with somebody and they, there's only a certain amount of time that you can address something to somebody without them. If they don't hear you the first time, don't address it. And now there's a car driving around here. We've had some trucks driving around here the last couple of days, even at 2 in the fucking morning. And it's like, the reason why I get so worked up over it is because there's like literally no cars that drive around here anymore. And when we hear them at 2, 3 in the morning, we're like, who's that? Like, I live out in the sticks, y'all. So when we hear cars, we're nosy as fuck. So we're like, what are they doing? Because they go up this hill and it's like, it's 2, 3 in the morning. What are you? Oh, okay. But, no, they've been cutting some trees and stuff around here, getting like firewood and stuff together, I guess, to help burn it. Maybe they use it for generator or something. You have electric generators, but then you've got those ones that, require manual labor. But, what are you doing, buddy? Anyways, he's so cute. Oh my goodness. He's just gonna sit here and stare at me. Okay. I have an audience. At least I know I have, some audience. But communication is not that hard of a concept to grasp. And I don't get it, y'all. It's like, every time I try to communicate something, it's like, I am not a sweet tasting pill that you're going to swallow, okay? People confuse rude with being honest and blunt. And when I was younger, I was always very careful of stepping on toes and shit like that. Because I was like, and then I realized I wasn't doing myself any service or justice, because I'm like, I'm kind of sugarcoating myself and I'm not being honest about who I am and what direction I want people to take with me. So I started getting more assertive and more blunt, okay? And letting people know, look, this is the shit I will and won't put up with. And if you got a problem with it, there's the door. Because I don't got time to be dancing around people's feelings, okay? I don't got time for that. There's a time to be sensitive and there's a time to be practical. There's a time to when someone is addressing something to you, you have to have your practical pants on, not your sensitive and your ego and being in your emotions, because someone is addressing something to you that you're doing that's affecting them. And you're self-involved. You're all about you. And that's not how shit works, okay? That's not how communication goes down in my book. And normally when I realize that the person I'm talking to is not going to be able to accept that or receive it, I stop talking. And I'm like, I will literally go ghost on someone until they figure shit out. I'm like, look, I've addressed it to you once, twice, 3 times. 3 times was too much, okay? I've said my piece. I've brought to your attention what you're doing that I don't put up with, I don't like. And if you can't get with the program, I'm going to ghost you till you do. You're going to get the program. You're going to have go through. I stopped talking to them and let them have that self-reflection and self-analysis to where at some point they might actually hey, because people don't always realize it when you bring it up. And then if they don't hear you, it's like, fine. Then you're not going to hear from me till you realize it. Then if I'm that important to you, you will actually realize it for yourself and you will start talking to me. And you will be like, you know what? You were right. I had time to think about what she said. Simple. And I don't like ghosting on people because I feel like you should have got it the first 3 times I said it. But like I said, you see my cat in the background. Like I said, what are you? He followed me all the way out here. Oh my goodness. But like I said, you know, we're adults, people. It's time to start acting like adults. And if you got a problem with me calling you out on your shit, then you're not my tribe. And you're too wrapped up in yourself. And then that's what means you need to go find somebody who's meek and quiet and submissive. And she's going to do everything you tell her to do. And she's going to cater to your every whim. I'm sorry, but that's not me. Okay? Women are not trophies, and we're not objects to pawn around. We're not any of that. Okay? Men aren't either. But I see people, men, women alike, getting treated like this every day. And it's like, look, we're human beings deserving of the utmost respect. Now, some of y'all ain't. Like the KKK. Some people don't deserve respect, okay? But like I said, if it's not somebody that's in your inner circle, who cares? You know what? Like, there's a lot of people I don't give a fuck about. I'm like, look, I'll put up with you while I have to put up with you, but other than that, I don't give a fuck about you. Like, I mean, I don't. It may sound heartless, but I'm being honest, you know? And I've shared, you know, my sentiments with a few other people. I let them know, look, this is how I feel. And this is how I roll. And if a guy or a girl, friend of mine or whatever, if they don't like it, then we don't have to be friends. Because I don't got time to be dealing with little pansy ass bitches. That's how I feel about it. Like, if you're gonna be a little pansy ass bitch, especially if you're a male, it's like, look, some men are more in tune with their emotional side. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to let your emotions dictate and control your responses to everything, that's what I have a problem with. Is because, look, I'm not attacking you. I am communicating with you about something that you're doing and how it makes me feel. Okay? And I objectify my own, I rationalize my own feelings. So I'm more of a thinker than a feeler. So even when I'm feeling something, I'm thinking about why I'm feeling that way. So I'm like, okay. And I try to find, okay, is there really a reason I need to be feeling this way? And if I realize that no, maybe it's just me taking it personal, then I get out of it real quick. But if it's something that keeps getting done to me, then I'm like, okay, no, this keeps bothering me. So I address it. Other times, if it's not important, I'm just like, that's just how they are. That's their personality. I'm not even going to bring it up. You know, but if it's something that they keep doing and it's really, really bothering you, you should be able to address those concerns without somebody taking it personal or somebody taking it as an attack on their self, their identity, or whatever it is, without feeling like you're trying to start an argument. I'm like, oh, some things are better just left unsaid. No, that's not the way it works with me. There are some things that are left better unsaid, but if they're more the case where it will affect your relationship with that person, I bring it up. I'd rather get shit out in the open and get it resolved and get it done and dealt with. I'm like that when I can sense tension going on between people around me. I will literally be the one that announces the elephant in the room, and I'll get people to talk about their shit so they can get it dealt with, because I don't do good with knowing there's tension around me and knowing there's shit that's not been said that needs to be said to get it dealt with. Okay. That's how I am. Now, you know, I've got friends of mine that are like, and see, that right there is the masculine energy that you carry. And I'm like, huh? She goes, well, you got feminine and masculine polarity. What you just said is masculine. I'm like, I don't care what it is. Feminine, masculine, who gives a fuck? What I care about is getting things done and dealt with. I hated having to not, like, when I was younger, I hated being told that I couldn't express things the way that I do now because, oh, well, people won't take you right. I said, well, then that's their problem, not mine. Okay, I'm not responsible for how you take me. I'm not responsible for how you perceive me. I'm responsible for how I express things. And there he goes again. What do you keep doing that for? Oh, my Lord. Obviously, he wants my attention. That's another thing that I've experienced. You know, some of my female friends are like, you're like a cat. And I said, well, I love cats. They're like, no, you don't get it. It's like cats can be assholes. there she's like, you want attention when you want it, but then when you don't, you're like, get away, leave me alone. And I'm like, yeah, because if you're gonna sit there and smother me, I get annoyed real fast. And then like my cat Frisky, he'll sit there and meow, and that annoys the hell out of me because he wants my attention. I'm like, God, why? I have a life outside of you. Like, why do I gotta cater to your attention seeking all the time? And it's like, she's like, well, men are like that too. And I'm like, what? So they want attention. I said, I know they do, but they're not gonna die without it. Like, you can test the true loyalty of a man by not giving him attention. Like, they're like, dude. And I'm like, if he is really for you and about you, he's gonna be like, she's just in one of her moods. Like, she'll come around. When she wants attention, she'll come around. That's the kind of dude I would be like, oh, see, look, he gets it. He respects me. But I'm an asshole. I can be mean. And I'm the type of girl who I like when, I would like, if somebody had that same personality as me. Like, they know how to be an ass, and we can be petty together. Like, but he'll be like, she's in one of her moods, leave her alone. But you guys, don't take me so seriously. I know I might come across that way, but I am not. Like, I'm not coming at this from like a bitchy angle. I'm just truly like, I don't get people. Like, communication it's like it's a foreign concept to some people, and it's like, look, it's not so foreign. Habla English. You do speak English, right? Okay, then let's get on the same page again, because I'm not I don't like dealing with this for people. It actually, when I have to deal with this from people, I get so irritated, because it really, really irks me. And I will literally start feeling anger build up in my chest, and I will be wanting to unleash the wrath on that person. And I've only done that maybe 2 or 3 times with certain individuals that really just get under my skin. And I'm like, and then I've realized, you know what, if somebody's going to work me up this much over the fact that I'm trying to communicate with them about something, I'm just not even going to respond to it anymore. I'm just not going to do it, because, it's not worth it. It's really not worth it anymore. And I just, you're either going to accept me and appreciate me and understand where I'm coming from, or you're going to take me personal. And if you're going to take me personal, then you're the person that I'm talking about that I don't need in my life. Okay. Because there are those certain types of individuals where like everything you say is a problem, everything. And that's what I said. Like, that guy that I was talking to, he was like literally bitching and talking about how he needed a blunt, all because I hadn't even said but 3 or 4 words, and I hadn't even got out my sentence, and he was already wanting to go smoke a joint, all because I'm expressing. That's the way, that's what some of these boys do to try to control you and get you to shut up. Like, dude, if you cannot even handle a disturbance of the peace, that you keep, like, things aren't going to be 100% chill all the time. And people who need it to be 100% chill all the time are people I don't vibe with, because I'm like, look, I do not do the 100% chill thing all the time. I don't, okay? There's a time and a place for fun. There's a time and a place to be chill, okay? But if there's shit that needs to be dealt with and out in the open, it's going to be dealt with, and I'm going to be the one to address it. And if you can't deal with that and you can't handle it, you're the problem, not me, okay? You're the one that doesn't know how to deal with any emotional upsets or instabilities or anything that might disturb that little piece that you're constantly trying to maintain. And toxic positivity is a very real thing, people. It's a very, very real thing. And I don't know what else to say regarding this. This is just... He must be really bored, because he keeps walking around my car and getting... Anyways, I mean, I don't really know what else I can say about this topic. I mean, there's probably... I don't know how to say your name. It's Xsher. Like, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Please, like, I don't know how to say it, so I'm not going to try to say it and mess it up. So, but, it's just, No. It's a subject that I just prefer to, talk about it and get it out there in the open. And then people can do with it what they will. But like I said, I'm not responsible for anyone's emotional outbursts. I'm not responsible for how people take me, okay? I'm only responsible for what I said. And if you take it as a personal attack, that right there should let you know, okay, I've got some work I need to do on myself. And once you can get to a point where you can actually accept what someone is saying as constructive criticism, trust me, because I've worked on it myself, instead of taking everything as a personal attack, then maybe you might actually get somewhere with people. And stop thinking that, oh, well, I got to wait for the right time to address something. No, because then you're just going to let it build up, and then you're going to have resentment towards the person. And then when you finally do address it, you're going to blow up. And I don't got time for dealing with people blowing up when they could have dealt with it when it needed to be dealt with, instead of waiting to deal with it later. I can see where I've got male friends of mine that, they're like, man, women just, like, dude, I know, right? Like, and I'm like, you know what? I can understand where they're coming from on it. Like, they want women to, but then I'm like, look, y'all say you want a woman to deal with the shit right when it happens and get it out in the open and get it dealt with. But then when she does express it to you, you're feeling inconvenienced and slighted because she brought it up. How does that make sense? Like, really, how does it make sense? It does not make sense to me at all. So I normally tell, like, look, this ain't a 2-for-1 deal. This is not a you have your cake and eat it too. This is, look, she's actually expressing herself. Maybe she's, I don't know. Some of y'all need to realize what kind of personality that you vibe with and what you don't. But sometimes, they'll bitch about the woman, they'll think that her expressing herself is she's complaining. No. Complaining, I'm going to give an example of when I complain with a dude about something. Complaining is a woman who, let's see. I don't complain too much about stuff. Like, normally I'm a vibe with whatever type of person, but there's some things I don't put up with. Guys who don't know how to communicate is a big pet peeve for me. And then they'll use the excuse, I'm just shy. Like, no, bitch, you're not. You're being a bitch is what you're being. You're a dude, you're being a bitch, okay? This I'm shy excuse, no. Let me tell you something. Yeah, there's people that are shy. There's people that aren't as expressive. Some people might have come from a home environment where they weren't allowed to be expressive, or they weren't allowed to communicate. That was restricted for them. So I get it. But then you've got those people that use that excuse every time. It's like, look, no, I'm just not the person you want to be communicating with. That's the excuse you use with those who you don't want to talk to. Okay. I'm not stupid. I'm not, okay? And normally I know what they mean I know what they really mean when they say that. And I'm like, I'm not even going to address it. I'm not going to bring it up because they can think I'm stupid, but I'm not. But just know that, if you're talking to me and you say, oh, I'm just shy, I don't talk much. No, you just don't want to talk to me, okay? Now, I try to avoid dominating the conversation because I'm so talkative and I can talk about anything and everything. So sometimes I realize if I'm talking too much, I'll kind of back off and I'll let the other person have say something into the conversation. I'll ask open-ended questions and try to get them to answer those things. And it's like, they don't even know how to do that. And I'm like, why do you exist? If you don't know how to have an open-ended conversation with somebody and you don't know how to interject your own ideas. Here's another thing that irritates me with people. When I ask somebody open-ended questions, they'll answer, but then they'll just go, what about you? Instead of interjecting with their own questions to ask me to get to know me. And that doesn't, okay, first of all, that shows me lack of effort. And it shows me that there's no creativity there as far as getting to know me. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to deal with this right now because you're just piggybacking off of what I've asked you. And then you don't even know how to interject with your own thoughts or ideas. Like, oh, the intelligence of some people pisses me off. Like, look, and if they're a person who's, no, I don't want to say it like that, but if there's a person that's not on my level with the intelligence, I don't, like, some people take me that way. Like, I've noticed, like, whenever I'm very articulate and I'm very communicative, I've had people accuse me of being the dominant one or trying to control the relationship. I'm like, I'm not trying to control nothing. You're coming to conclusions and assumptions based off the way I communicate, and that's shitty. It's shitty, okay? No, I just know how to talk, okay? And I know how to communicate, and I could talk about and vibe with whatever, but I can't vibe with somebody who doesn't know how to talk at all. Like, I just can't. And I also have learned through some experiences, I'm not the type of person you can take on a date where you just sit there and we're at a restaurant and hell, like, fuck, like, especially those expensive ass restaurants. Like, okay, well, especially if you don't know me, what are we going to talk about? Like, me, I'm not going to spend money on somebody who's just going to sit there and me be the one doing all the talking. I'm just not. Okay? Now, sometimes people are more listeners and observers and they truly listen to what you say. But I had a guy one time tell me, well, I know I don't talk a lot, but I sure do listen to you. And I said, what does that smell like? Fuckboy all over it. Okay? Why does that smell like it has fuckboy written all over that statement? Oh, I sure do listen to you. I'm like, how many other girls have you said that to? No, you don't talk a lot because you're not interested in sharing your deepest thoughts or who you are with me. I'm not going to hear that excuse from nobody no more. Next time somebody tells me, oh, I'm just shy, I'd be like, no, bitch, you just don't want to talk to me. You just don't. Either that or sometimes, you know, my bold personality, I've also known that sometimes me being as assertive as I am can kind of make them feel emasculated. They're like, oh, she's really dominant. Like, look, I'm just assertive and I know how to communicate. I know how to talk. Now, it depends on the energy I'm getting from the person. I'm not always dominant all the time with people. Like, if there's a guy who's more dominant than me, normally I have no interest in trying to outbid him. I want equality. So sometimes, it's not all the time, sometimes I will find myself sinking into more of a feminine, but not passive, just more feminine role because I realize, oh damn, his energy, he's more dominant than me. I'm not going to try to do this power struggle with him, but I will try to have equality with him. And if a guy wants to try to subdue me and put me in this, like, no, you belong here, that's when he's going to get the horns from me because I don't belong nowhere unless I put myself there, okay? And that's the cocky men are the ones I don't deal with. They're cocky and they think because they're a man that I had a guy tell me one time, he goes, I'm black, I'm dominant. I'm like, the fuck? So what? You think because what? And I said, I'm white and I'm a bitch. Like, what is your skin color got to, dude, you are not any better than anybody else because of your skin color. Asian, white, African American, whatever. I literally choked when he made that statement. I'm like, the fuck did he just say? And I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not doing it. So, you know what? You're not better or more dominant than the other person all because of that. Like, I'm still choking on that. I'm like, hey, I'm black, I'm dominant. Like, okay, no, you're not. You're not. Okay? There is this type of masculinity where, because trust me, I know all about it. There's a lot of male personalities out there that think that they have to exert or force this dominance over the woman. And let me tell you why they do that is because they're not actually confident within themselves. Overly cocky guys truly are insecure as fuck underneath that bravado, okay? They're overly confident to mask the fact that they feel like they're just shit underneath all that. And so by trying to force a woman to fit in some kind of role he wants her to be in, that's where he's comfortable because he doesn't want to feel like she would up and leave him if she found something better. How about you treat her like she's supposed to be treated and then you'll get the same in return and she won't want to leave you? How about that? And stop listening to all these pickup artists to tell you you're supposed to be mean to a girl you're interested in to get her to like you. That's not how shit works. And I'm sorry. If you're going to be an asshole and be mean to me to try to get me to like you, it's only going to have the opposite effect. And I'll go to where a guy's actually being nice to me. Now, just because a guy is being nice to you don't mean he like you either. And that's the thing that pisses me off is overly nice guys think if they're nice that they're entitled. So you have two ends of the spectrum here. You've got guys who are going to be dicks because they think that's going to get the girl to like them. They nag you. Oh, well, you look like... I literally had him do that to me. He was like, well, you're not even that attractive anyways. I've talked to women that are way more attractive. Then he turns around and goes, so wait, you don't think I'm attracted to you? I said, first of all, you heart react to my photos. And then you want to turn and tell me you don't find me attractive. Then because of my fitness goals, he was like, well, you'll just be getting more attention. He was threatened by that. Like, you should be uplifting me and supporting me. That already told me that he was insecure within himself as being nervous about my fitness goals. And he didn't want me looking better or improving the way I looked because it would threaten him in the sense that he could risk getting attention from other males. And that threatened him. Look, I don't care. Look, if I am with you, I am with you. But I'm not going to stay with somebody who's treating me like shit. I'm not. And they're not going to get treatment better than they've been treating me. It's like this entitlement philosophy that goes around. And I'm like, that's one thing I've noticed and I've dealt with, and I refuse to deal with it. And okay, I'm going to say it like this. Self-respect and self-love are two very different things. And I'm going to address it this way because some people are like, no, they're not. I said, yes, they are. A woman can have low self-esteem. She can have the lowest self-esteem ever, okay? But self-respect comes in where she realizes that, you know what? I know that I'm not in the place right now where I love myself, but I realize that this man that's doing this to me is not going to help me get to a place of loving myself. And there's this mentality that goes around where women think they've got to love themselves 100% completely before they get into a relationship. And I said, no, because you don't love yourself 100% all the time. Your life, you're here on earth. Your confidence is something that's going to constantly waver all the time. It's never going to be a consistent thing. One day you're going to be feeling yourself and the next you're going to be and eating out of an ice cream pint. Okay. It happens. It's very normal. But women need, there's this, oh, I need to love myself before. No, you can be at a point in your life where you don't love yourself, but you can realize that this man is not loving me the way I should be loving me. He's not going to help get me into a place of loving myself and appreciating myself. He's not going to help me get there. So that woman can, put herself in this objective, logical standpoint of where she's like, I need to get rid of him because he's only going to drag me further down into this not loving myself abyss. Okay. And that's when her self-respect, the fact that she knows what she deserves and what is valuable to her and what can be valued, that is when she realizes, I need to go find what's going to help me get there. I need to go find a man who loves me and friendships, my friendship circles, my inner circle. People who are for you are going to be for you regardless of what mental state that you're in, and they're not going to feel crippled or inconvenienced by where you're at in life. They're not. Only people who are stuck up and entitled and who think they're better than everybody else and think that you're dragging them down, those are the people that are going to be, oh my God, I can't deal with her. And not everybody's understanding. There's times where I'm not as understanding and I'm just like, oh my God, would you just stop whining, And I can be that way. And me, I'm the type of person that I really don't like, addressing how I'm feeling emotionally. I don't like discussing my emotions all the time because I'm like, look, emotions, there's a time and a place to deal with those. But at the same time, it's like, look, I try to be practical with my feelings. I try to be like, okay, how is this going to help me get this done? Like, I can feel how I'm feeling, and when I'm busy and I'm trucking along and I'm doing something, I'll still have my emotions. They're still there. But I'm getting shit done while processing and thinking about my feelings and how they're going to benefit me or what they can benefit me or if they're even worth having, And sometimes that can be negative, I guess. You know, all emotions are worth having. All emotions are worth processing and feeling them out and riding the waves of them and being like, okay, and, you know, trying to find the logic in them. And some people are like, oh, well, emotions aren't, no, you can find the logic in emotions. You can. At least I can. I don't know how everybody else works, but me, I'm the type of person I will sit and think through my feelings and be like, okay, all right, well, we got that accomplished. Well, we got you again. We got that accomplished and we got that dealt with. Now it's time to tackle this. Okay. I find that when I'm working through while I'm dealing with emotions, sometimes it is hard on me because I don't like sitting and ruminating over stuff. I really don't, but sometimes I do. And that's why I say communication is the biggest thing for me, because I want to be able to have the open line of fluid communication with somebody, and I can discuss things with them and they'll be like, okay, I hear where you're coming from. And it's just that open line of, you give respect, you get respect. Okay. There's this, you know, people think that you've got to earn their respect. Me, I give respect until it's lost. Okay. I respect people until they lose it. Okay. I don't have this philosophy going around of thinking I'm holier than thou and I'm better than everybody else, so they need to earn my respect. That's not how you get people to respect you. Okay. I respect people until they do something that makes that go away. I'm like, okay, well, you just lost that. Now you got to earn it back. And earning my respect back is hard to do, because once you've lost it, and 9 times out of 10, the only reason why somebody tries to go out of their way to earn my respect is because they want something from me. And once they realize they can't no longer get that from me, then they realize they really fucked up. And they're like, man. And then that's their punishment. They get to deal with the fact that they lost that. It's like, look, you're only trying to do this because you want something from me. And I don't want nothing from you. I just wanted your company, your honest, you. Okay. And for some reason that's hard to accept from like other people, that's hard to accept for them. And I'm like, why? And then, you know, apparently my friendliness, like some people think I'm being fake. And I'm like, what? You think I'm being fake? I've literally had people think because I'm being friendly or whatever that there's like this fake. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck you're thinking. What you're doing is you're projecting, okay? A lot of people project their shit onto me. And I'm like, you're the one that's being fake then, because I know I'm not being fake. I said either that or you really don't truly know what genuine kindness is. And anytime someone's been nice to you, it's because they've wanted something from you. So you think anyone being nice to you is because they want something from you. Oof. Phew. I just, you know what? I've dealt with that from people like, oh, you're being, no, not. I've even had somebody say, you give out way too many compliments. I said, I'd rather give out too many compliments that are genuine compliments for me than to not be given compliments at all, because we need a little more kindness in this world. Okay. If I see something on somebody that I like, oh, their hair, or, oh, I love her lipstick. Oh, girl, you rocking the eyebrows today. If I see something on somebody that I like, I'm going to say it. And apparently that's fake. I'm like, oh, okay, well, y'all can go deal with your fake ass selves somewhere else. Like, I'm the type of person I'll be like, hey, girl, I like your boots. Oh, I like that outfit. Or if I've even noticed some of my guy friends, like, if they've got a nice shave going on, or if they went to the barber shop, I'm like, oh, you look cut today. I really like that. Like, they're like, oh, thanks. I'm like, I give compliments where they're due. And I'm like, apparently that's fake. I'm like, so I can't even be myself with people without them thinking I'm being. So, you know what? Those are y'all's perceptions, and I'm going to drop truth bombs on y'all. Your perception equals your reality, not mine. So just because somebody perceives me a certain way does not mean that's actually how I am. That means that that's their reality. That's how they are. That's how they think I am. And it's not my fault that that's how you're taking me, and that's how me being misunderstood by you is your fault, not mine. Okay? Your perception equals your reality. I'm not responsible for your perception of me. Okay? I'm responsible for carrying out who I am. And if that's the impression you get, then maybe you need to check yourself, because that's who you are. You know? And for example, when I hear somebody say that, oh, well, I don't have a lot of friends because everybody's stuck up and nobody knows how to work for anything, that lets me know they're the one that's stuck up. I said, you haven't even known me that long and you're already telling me you don't have a lot of friends because they're stuck up and you don't know me? Oh, hunty, you're the one that's stuck up then. And if you don't have a lot of friends, ding, 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 that means you're the one that's stuck up because you think you're better than everybody else. No. And, I don't deal with people like that. I'm like, because then I feel like I'm constantly being criticized and nitpicked for everything I'm doing or not doing. And it's like, you can't vibe with people like that. I'm looking at you, Virgos. Oof. Like, unevolved Virgos are the worst. And it's like, ugh. As a Sagittarius dominant, y'all, I don't vibe with Virgos. Heavy earth energy is not something I vibe with because y'all earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, y'all are so overly conscious of how society perceives you, and you're so overly worried about your reputation and how you come across to others. That's not all of y'all, but the ones I've dealt with, they're so overly conscious about how people perceive them that they're being fake. They're not being authentic and they're not being 100% themselves. And as a Sagittarius dominant, I'm like, who? Fuck society. Fuck how people take me. I'm not going to be tactful or anything. If you cannot handle me, that is your problem. Like, that is you, not me. Okay? And I don't got to walk on eggshells around you or be my mom, she's a Capricorn. And she always comments on, well, you shouldn't post that. You shouldn't. I said, oh, what? Because you're worried about how it's going to make me look? Oh, I'm an embarrassment to you? First of all, I'm not worried about how it's going to make me look. I'm speaking my truth. And if somebody has a problem with it, they can see themselves away. Bye. Okay? I'm not being rude. Okay? I'm not being rude. If you feel that way, maybe you might want to check deep within and feel like what's being triggered within you. Because I'm not being rude. I'm being honest. Okay? And, it's really, really petty that people even have to walk on eggshells around your ass because you can't handle whatever people who are overly concerned with what they post and how it makes them look are the banes of my existence. It's like nobody gets out of here alive anyways. Post what the fuck that you want. Okay. People don't have to agree with you either. I'm not posting anything to be agreed with. I don't care. I truly don't, okay? If you don't like what I post, if you don't agree with me, you don't have to keep scrolling, okay? Now, there's a lot of times where people are like, well, I just need to do some yoga or something, be like, and just be like, but you know what? It's funny to me. Like, I say all this with a sense of, humor and, grain of salt, so I'm not being serious, like entirely too serious or uptight about it. People sometimes take me that way. I'm just speaking on something that I've noticed, everything I've mentioned. And it's like, oh my God, you'll get there, you'll realize what I'm saying once you get to that point where you're like, oh, now I realize what she was saying. Oh. And then they're gonna be like, ouch. And then it's their ego might take a hit because it's like, and at some point people will stop feeling like what I say is an attack on them. And I'm like, can we just stop with that, please? Not everything that comes out of my mouth is an attack on you. It's not an attack at all. Okay. And people need to stop going there with stuff when someone expresses how they feel. And I'm just going to leave it at that. And that is my rant for the day because I'm tired of dealing with it from people. And just really, oh my God. I'm tired of dealing it with tired of dealing with that from people. But yeah, I guess my cat has finally left from dancing around on my car. So, alrighty.